Joining us this intermission, Riverhawk defenseman junior, one of the captains, Barry Goers. Barry, welcome.
Hi, Bob. Thank you. Always a pleasure.
Here we are. It's February. We are in the stretch drive now in Hockey East. About 10 games to go in the season. Is there more pressure now than earlier in the season?
I don't like to look at it with more pressure. Every game is just as important. Maybe now we've realized we're on the final stretch here. We got to give it everything we have to come out, on top. We're in a good spot right now in Hockey East, and hopefully we can move up from here.
Do games at this time of the year feel different than they did back in October?
Maybe a little. You're kind of a little tired right now, but you're conditioned for the game at the same time. So, you feel like you have a lot of experience so far this season, and you're really coming together as a team. I thought we really came together as a team against Maine. Keep moving on from there.
Is there more intensity now than there was back in October, or no, the intensity's there, there are just fewer games to go?
I think the intensity's there. I think, one thing we've been getting better at lately is, hitting. We weren't hitting a lot in the beginning of the season. Now we've really focused on, coming back with the play, and putting the body on guys.
Say, things really came together in Maine. What did we do differently in Maine?
I think we really played within our systems. We a lot of times we talk about F1 as sort of leading the play. Everybody reads off him. So on the forecheck, as long as F1's going hard and finishing checks, we'll turn pucks over and make things happen for us. And just playing down low defensively in the corners, winning your battles, and starting a breakout makes a big difference.
What's the difference between winning and losing one-goal games? And I say that because earlier this year we struggled in one-goal games. We've won 4 of the last 5 one-goal games we've been in. What's the difference?
Yeah. Again, I'm gonna go back to the hitting because earlier in the season we weren't hitting, and we started charting different things like hits, chances for, chances against. Looking at lines and seeing who's producing in that matter. And from watching a lot of video, we noticed, hey, when we're putting the body on guys, they're turning the puck over, and we get scoring chances. So, if we're hitting more, we get more scoring opportunities. We score more goals, and those one-goal games go in our favor instead of the other team.
While we chart hits, do we also chart opportunities to hit, not taking maybe flybys?
Yes, very good. Flybys are up there, and I'm trying to think real quick. Chances for, chances against, on the power play, penalty kill, even strength, plus minus, all things we follow.
But getting to see those stats, and I don't know if they're posted, but obviously they're talked about. Did you suddenly realize, hey, there are things that we didn't know we weren't doing? Is it a matter that it made you more aware?
Yeah, I think it makes you much more aware, especially, if I see, oh man, I didn't have any hits that game, Having a hit might cause a turnover for us and, a scoring opportunity. So, maybe next game I'm focusing more on, if I'm a forechecker, making a hit on the guy with the puck and making things happen for your line, and then that could turn into chances for. So it's all tied together.
One thing that's jumped out at me, and I go back maybe to the BC game that seemed to really begin to stick out, was how much more aggressive the defense has been as a group, not just one individual. It seems like all 6 defensemen. It doesn't matter whether it's you or Maury Edwards or Jeremy Daner, or whether it's Cappy or Nick Schaus or whoever, or shouldn't leave anybody out, Ryan Blair.
Right.
All of you guys seem to be looking for the opportunities to step up, to be more aggressive in the offensive zone.
Yeah, definitely. I think it started, we kind of refined our system, on our forecheck, just a strong side D, weak side D, if the puck gets wrapped around, run down on that forward, and then you cause him trouble. The high forward just fills in behind, and, you have support. And at the same time, in the D zone, just looking, the weak side defenseman, net front D, just look to jump up into play, and you might catch something late coming in.
It's got to be fun for you defensemen.
Yeah, it is. Trying to get up there is fun. Hopefully, usually get an opportunity.
But it seems as though, as watching guys step up, take those opportunities, whether it's joining the rush or whether it's coming down the boards in the offensive zone, it seems as though there's a great deal more confidence in doing it. These aren't tentative semi-decisions that are being made.
It's all or nothing. It's not, 50-50. If you decide to go, you're going. And usually, I think we're pretty experienced, so we make the right decision at the right time to make it happen.
What do you look for, or is it instinct? You know that they're not keys A, B, and C to look for. You've got the experience. You know it.
Yeah. Well, usually you can kind of notice if they get stuck with 2 guys maybe in the corner, and we just make a quick transition out of the zone, and our forwards have good control of the puck. You can jump up there there and try to get in the play.
One thing I noticed also as of late, a team that used to have 2 power play units almost seems as though it has 4, in that we now have a variety of looks and a variety of personnel on each of the power play groups. Does it make it more fun? Does it make it more difficult? Does it make any difference?
Yeah, we have a lot of guys that are capable of playing in these different scenarios, so you kind of want to give everybody a chance to get a look and see what maybe guys can do in practice, and then maybe give them an opportunity in game. It can be really hard for some guys not have the same opportunity when they might be just as good.
I know you and I have talked about this at various times this season. How do you like your game at the moment? I know at Christmas time, I think you took a hard look at the first half and said you wanted to make some changes and do some things differently. Now that we're another month into the second half of the season, do you see those changes paying off?
Yeah, I feel like I've started to adapt in the system much better now. Earlier in the season, I was having trouble trying to jump into play like I used to love to do in past seasons, and now it's about, it starts in the D zone, really. And, I just wasn't used to doing, looking for that opportunity, and now I'm trying to do that a little more, stepping down in the offensive zone and trying to, pinch forwards off. It makes a difference.
Can we get home ice in the playoffs, you think?
Definitely. If we have a good final stretch here, I'm definitely looking for it, yeah.
What's it take to have a good final stretch? I think last year in the last 10, I think we were like 3-7. The year before, we were 5-2-2. What's the difference between a good finishing stretch and a not-so-good one?
I'm going to say details. As long as we're doing the little things, as I talked about earlier, getting hits on the other team, creating those opportunities for, and just bearing down a little bit and make that little difference, I think we'll look pretty good coming out of here.
All right, fair enough. Going to wrap it up. As a matter of fact, we're going to ask you a question we asked the goalies yesterday.
Right.
What's your favorite piece of equipment?
Oh, favorite piece of equipment. That's a good one. I'm going to say my skates, just because I love to skate, and it's all you need, really, if you want to play hockey. Skates are key, You just lace them up. As a kid, just go out on the pond. All you needed was skates. Maybe a stick, too, but I'm going to have to go with the skates.
All right, fair enough. Barry Goers, always a pleasure to talk with you. We wish you good skates and a terrific weekend. We look forward to catching up with you as the season continues.
All right, thank you, Bob.
That's Riverhawk Defenseman Jr., one of the captains. That is Barry Goers. You are listening to the Riverhawk Radio Network.